Hey y'all, I'm back. It's me, and it's Wednesday. Hump day, Wednesday. Well, you guys, my Hump Day Wednesday is not going to be as enthusiastic as it normally is because today we got some news. And I could act like, it didn't shake me and talk about sports. We have an NBA game going on, playoff game going on. We have a Stars hockey game going on. I don't know if that game is over with yet. A couple of days ago, I forgot to mention Naomi Osaka won the U.S. Open, and she's not playing in the French Open that starts on Sunday. You know, I love sports, so I love to talk about sports. But today, I won't be talking about any of that. Today, I will be dedicating this episode to Breonna Taylor. Yes, Breonna Taylor. We've been waiting days and days and days to see if the officers that killed her were going to be indicted for it. And today we got the news that they are not. So there's one officer that's being charged with basically shooting the walls of the other tenants in this apartment complex, but there was absolutely nothing mentioned about Breonna Taylor and how she died. We're not even discussing the fact that the state of Kentucky thought it was necessary to provide her family with monetary compensation in the civil suit. You would think that in a civil suit, if you've given money before an indictment has even come down, then you would think that that would warrant at least an indictment. But no. The good folks in Kentucky, led by the Attorney General, big teeth having Daniel Cameron, decided that those officers were lawful in every action that they took when they called themselves serving a warrant at Breonna's house. So now we're here. And everybody wants to know, or not everybody wants to know. Some folks don't care. Some folks don't give a damn. Some people are sick like me. And everybody kind of is wondering, so what's next? Because we protested our asses off when we saw how George Floyd was killed. We burned some stuff up, tore some stuff down, kind of acted a big fool. And it didn't bring him back, but it gave the family a little bit of relief to know that his killer is at least in jail and they acknowledged that they did wrong. Here we won't even get an acknowledgement of wrongdoing. And so that stings a little bit more. For me specifically, because I am a black woman, and it seems as if our stuff just kind of just goes away, dissipates. We'll be rah-rah about it for a short while, and then, it kind of just gets forgotten. One thing I did want to touch on is we have got to do better. And when I say we, I'm talking to the people who look like me, the people who have the melanin that I have. We as a community are so easily distracted, so very easily distracted. I knew some funny business was going on when it was made public that her family received a settlement. What that did was that halted the progress. And I don't fault her family one bit. Actually, I feel like that's the very least they could have given her family for what happened to her. But it felt also as if our community had some type of resentment because her family was given this money. Why are we like that? Why? Just because they were awarded a lump sum does not mean that they don't want justice for what happened to her. It's not an either or situation. It's a because and You know, it's not an either or, it's a yes and situation. Yes, they should have given something. And these police officers should have been brought to justice. All three of them, not just one, all three. None of them had any business even being at that lady's house. None of them. We have to get out of that. We have been so mentally destroyed as a people. It's really hard to reprogram our thought process, but we have to try. We have to do it, y'all. We have to. Unity is a must in this fight. It is a must. It's not even up for discussion. Unity is a must in this fight. And the next thing that I want to talk about is voting. I didn't get a chance the other day to, acknowledge RGB, but I want to acknowledge her because she did so many things for women, and we are so oftentimes left behind. Doubly for me, being a black woman. I am not married, so I cannot rely on a man to make things happen for myself. That lady passed laws that made it unlawful to deny women monetary benefits that men receive in the workplace. It's unlawful. So I have to shout her out. I have to acknowledge her. I have to. I would be remiss if I did not. But in the same token, I have to speak to you guys about voting. Now, I know I have heard every reason in the world to not vote, especially in this election, because it does not feel as if there is a candidate that has our interests at the forefront. But let me just say this. We're not going to get everything that we want from anybody. You're just not. And at this point, I don't want to have to decide between the lesser of two evils. I get it. I hear you. I get all of that. But just keep this in mind. This girl's family, and I'm speaking on Breonna Taylor, her family has just been served a hot ass dick sandwich. That's what they've been served. Why would we not go vote and pridefully, with ego, not go vote because I don't F with Kamala Harris and Joe ain't gonna do nothing and Joe did this and Joe did that and Kamala did this and Kamala did that. What Joe and what Kamala are not going to do, I can say with pretty good, I have a pretty good idea that they won't elect Daniel Cameron to the high court. And right now, that's what we're facing. What he did today puts him in such good favor with this fool Trump that's in the White House that he's on his short list to replace Ruth. We cannot have this fool sitting up on the bench. We cannot. We cannot. It's not just about the presidential election. And another thing, it's not just about the presidential election. This fool, the attorney general in Kentucky, he's there because people didn't vote in the primaries. People didn't vote in their local elections. Voting is a domino effect. If you don't do it at the smaller levels, then your voting for the presidency is null and void. We have got to expand our thought process, guys. We really do. But for this presidential election, this one, you might not get none of what's on your list, but we cannot afford, you cannot afford to have Trump's ass in the White House again. We cannot afford to have his ass put in another Supreme Court justice. We cannot. I can't explain it any more clearer than that. We cannot afford that. And the reason why I say that is because this is where the hell we live. I haven't come into any kind of money where I can pick up and go and move into another country. So I have to try to make where I stay, where I live, work for me. And I understand that everything is not going to be as I want it to be, but I'm going to participate in the process so that if something does happen, you know, I feel like I had a hand in getting some shit done rather than sitting on my hands not voting for anybody and letting the chips fall where they may, and then be up talking about what somebody's not doing and what they could have and should have would have been doing when I didn't do my part as a citizen. This is where we live. We are citizens of this godforsaken fuck ass place. Lord, I said I wasn't gonna cuss, but that's what we are right now. And in this place where we live, where we have been granted human, regular ass rights, so they say, a part of that is voting. It's 100 million ways to skin a cat, and I'm down for all of them. But we ain't gonna get the cat skinned if we don't participate. That's all I know. Anyway, guys, that's all I have. I'm keeping her family in my prayers. Say her name, Breonna Taylor, because they didn't even have the freaking decency to mention her in the paperwork that was filed for this freaking indictment. That's how little they thought of her. That's how small she was taken into consideration. They didn't even mention her freaking name. Y'all be good. Love on the people who love on y'all. I didn't mean to preach no sermon, but then again, yes, I did. We have, man, listen. Be safe. Be safe. Love on the people who love on you, and I will talk to y'all later.